Remember when summer vacation seemed to last forever? When waiting for your birthday felt like an eternity? That wasn't just childish impatience. It was your brain experiencing time fundamentally differently. The sensation that time accelerates as you age isn't an illusion. It's caused by specific neurological mechanisms that literally change how your brain processes the passage of time. And understanding these mechanisms can actually help you slow down your perception of life racing by. Most people attribute accelerating time perception to being busier as adults, or simply having more responsibilities and distractions. Others suggest it's purely subjective, an emotional interpretation rather than an actual perceptual difference. Some even dismiss it as merely nostalgic distortion of childhood memories. But these explanations don't align with the scientific evidence. Researchers in neuroscience and cognitive psychology have identified specific mechanisms that literally change how our brains process temporal information as we age. These aren't subjective feelings. They're measurable alterations in neurological functioning that create this nearly universal experience. The science reveals that 4 distinct factors work together to create the sensation that time is speeding up. And these factors affect everyone, regardless of lifestyle or personality. The first and most fundamental factor is proportional time perception. Your brain unconsciously compares each time period to your total life experience. For a 5-year-old, 1 year represents 20% of their entire existence, a massive proportion. For a 50-year-old, that same year is just 2% of their life experience, making it feel 10 times shorter in relative terms. Research at UCLA has demonstrated this proportionality effect by having subjects of different ages estimate when 1 minute had passed without counting. The results showed a direct correlation between age and time compression. Older participants consistently felt a minute had passed before it actually had, with the degree of compression corresponding remarkably closely to the mathematical proportion of that minute to their lifespan. The second factor involves novelty processing and our brain's relationship with routine. Your brain devotes significantly more processing power to new experiences than familiar ones. Neuroimaging studies from University College London show that novel experiences activate the hippocampus, amygdala, and dopaminergic pathways, creating more detailed memory encodings that take up more space in your subjective experience. Children experience constant novelty. Their developing brains encounter new information, experiences, and cognitive challenges daily. This density of novelty processing makes childhood memories feel expansive and detailed. As adults, we typically experience less novelty, with research suggesting the average adult's day contains 60 to 70% less novel stimuli than a child's day. This reduction in novelty processing makes time feel like it's passing more quickly. The third factor involves actual changes in memory formation as we age. Stanford University research has shown that the hippocampus, critical for forming new memories, loses 3 to 5% of its neurons per decade after age 30. Additionally, the neurochemical environments that facilitate detailed memory formation, particularly acetylcholine and dopamine networks, become less efficient with age. Perhaps most surprising is the fourth factor: changes in our internal pacemaker cells. A groundbreaking 2019 study in the journal Nature Neuroscience identified specific timekeeper neurons in the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus that literally tick at different rates as we age due to changing metabolic processes. These neurons coordinate our circadian rhythms and subjective time perception, and their changing frequency creates a measurable shift in how we experience the passage of time. These 4 mechanisms create a profound compound effect. We perceive time through the memories we form, and when these memories become less detailed and fewer in number due to decreased novelty and changing neural function, our subjective experience of time literally compresses. Understanding these mechanisms gives us the ability to actually slow down our perception of time passing, not through magical thinking, but through science-based interventions that target these specific factors. Research from the Max Planck Institute has shown that deliberately introducing novelty into your routine can expand time perception by up to 15%. Participants who engaged in new activities, traveled unfamiliar routes to work, or learned new skills reported significantly slower subjective time passage compared to control groups. Similarly, practicing forms of mindfulness meditation that focus on present moment awareness has been shown to counteract temporal compression by enhancing the detail with which we process ongoing experiences. A 2017 study in psychological science demonstrated that just 15 minutes of mindfulness practice expanded time perception by increasing attentional focus on sensory details normally filtered out by the adult brain. Some evidence suggests that certain cognitive challenges can temporarily reactivate childlike neural processing. Learning a new language, for instance, creates periods of intense novelty processing similar to childhood experiences, temporarily expanding subjective time perception. Most surprisingly, temperature regulation plays a role in our time perception. Research in chronobiology has found that slightly cooler environments, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, slow down our internal metabolic clock, potentially expanding subjective time perception compared to warmer environments. The acceleration of time as we age isn't just a subjective feeling. It's created by specific neurological and psychological mechanisms that literally change how our brains process temporal information. By understanding these mechanisms, we can deliberately introduce practices that expand our perception of time. Simple interventions like seeking novel experiences, practicing present moment awareness, engaging in challenging learning, and even adjusting your environmental temperature can significantly impact how you experience the passage of time. These approaches don't actually slow time, of course, but they do expand your subjective experience of it, making your life feel longer and richer in the process. If you found this revelation eye-opening, hit subscribe for more I Bet You Didn't Know videos that expose the unexpected truth behind everyday experiences.